This is Married at First Sight, Season 10, Episode 33 and 34. Whenever it gets to final vows, there's always that one couple that you just like, allow it with the drama. Abigail and John. Them trying to like manufacture some kind of drama, like they haven't already set aside the yard, the house they're gonna live in, what the baby name is gonna be, whose turn it is to cook next Sunday's dinner. Ton of four. Here, Johnna. But is love really enough? If you don't just ixnay the faux drama, they are getting married. Funny old one for me because I went from like not liking Leah at all. I didn't like her. I thought she was rude when she was just like, yeah, so I think we should have separate bedrooms for tonight, yeah. What's the help with your suitcase? I don't need any help, thanks. Ideally, would you want your partner kissing their friends? I'd be like, nah. Dean comes in with some neck tattoos. I'm guessing it's a sleeve. Any mention of Sarah, like my respect for him has sunk a new low. One people thems. So this is Married at First Sight, Season 10, Episode 33 and 34. So yeah, these episodes are the final vows. And it's funny because I feel like with these, well, I did until I watched them anyway. I thought they were kind of rudimentary, really, because like we kind of know where this is going. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know about you guys, but whenever it gets to final vows, there's always that one couple that you just like, allow it with the drama. So, for example, Abigail and John, like, let's be real, yeah, with them trying to like manufacture some kind of drama, like they haven't already set aside the yard, the house they're gonna live in, what the baby name is gonna be, whose turn it is to cook next Sunday's dinner. Ton of four. Here, Johnna. But is love really enough to to make a marriage work? If you don't just ixnay the faux drama, they are getting married. They have been the Disney couple right through. I mean, it is interesting that they haven't had any level of drums. So I do think that is important. So when they were talking about that, I did think, yeah, that is a good point. And I think in most instances, I would see it as a bit of a red flag. But I think with both of them, from what we're seeing anyway, they're just so nice. They're so nice. Like, I can't imagine, even if they have a disagreement, it's going to be over anything that's too explosive that they're not going to be able to just sort it out. Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, so the order of the episodes, you've got Leah and Lee, you've got John and Abigail, then Leisha and Reese, and episode 34 you've got Kieran David, and then Rebecca and Bailey. So yeah, Leah and Lee. So they obviously don't leave on good terms. So they've from the dinner party, they're still beefing about this kiss with Leisha. And I guess amongst other things, because Lee's also said she doesn't trust Lee, and because Lee's also said she doesn't trust Leah. So Leah's got a backup about it because she's like, it's still a double standard, and I just don't like the fact that you don't trust me. And even when they try and talk about it again before Lee's about to leave, it looks as though they're going to have a calm conversation, but they're both still in their feelings about it. And it's a funny old one for me because like, I went from like not liking Leah at all. I didn't like her. I thought she was rude when she was just like, yeah, so I think we should have separate bedrooms for tonight, yeah. What's the help with your suitcase? I don't need any help, thanks. So from that comment alone, I was like, no, I don't like you. Very cold and not very nice. And I thought Leah was constantly trying and constantly week in, week out, just trying to get anything from her. At that point, she probably would have taken. I like the girl. Like one of Steven's specials. She then went through that whole little breakdown thing, and then she warmed up and stuff, and then she started like giving a bit more to Leah. And from then, really, I was kind of like, do you know what? I do like Leah. Like she's kind of growing. Do like Lee. She's growing on me, man. And I love how she stuck up for David. How she really stuck it to Julia-Ruth. And she just seemed to be very spot on with her observations as well. And then, like I said, I got a bit of a dip with Leah because I didn't like the way that she was with Leisha. I thought it was too over familiar. The fact that she just didn't really own up to those kind of things. But I do think that Lee's got this wrong. I do. Like, again, I'm all for setting your boundaries, and if someone oversteps them, let them know. But you can't be the one setting boundaries and your lips are outside the boundaries. Do you know what I mean? Your lips are for Leah's lips only then? Do you know what I mean? Like little pecks on the cheek. Like, nah. Again, I don't know what it's like in, whether it's different in like a lesbian couple or not, I don't know. But even if that was my partner, I wouldn't really want pecking other people. Again, it depends. It depends. It's all about the individuals, because if you know someone, and you trust them, then it's all well and good. But I think it still opens a. It still opens a whole can of worms. If someone said to me, Luke, ideally, would you want your partner kissing their friends? I'd be like, nah. Because, like I said, it's a hop, skip, and a jump between someone that's like, oh, I wouldn't swing that way anyway, to, well, I've always had a bit, but do you know what I mean? Like, just don't do it. So the fact that Lee wouldn't really see that, they get into some next argument, which results in Lee storming out because they're not hearing each other. They're not hearing each other, man. And like I said, I'm in Leah's camp on this one. I think if she'd just gone, look, it is out of order. Leah's trying to say that she hasn't done anything in the competition that would warrant her not being seen as trustful and trustworthy. And I think Lee's trying to say, oh, well, that's, I'm making it up then, because apparently Lee's saying that that Leah has come back and said that Leisha is a certain type of way when she's drunk. So she's like, the fact is you've come back and told me what she's like. That's the reason why I've got my feelings about Leisha in particular, because of what you said about her previously. But Leah's like, but yeah, even if that's the case though, even if you thought she's a flirty person, why would you then go and kiss her? Which I think is a very valid point. I don't really get it. I don't know whether it was out of insecurity. I don't know whether she's like, oh, I want to, just let you know that I could also get it too if I want. I don't. Oh, maybe it was just something harmless. Who knows? But either way, they have a bicker, as seems to be the buzzword on this season. And Lee ends up leaving without like a hug, nothing. Like they've just gone in separate ways. So they're both like, oh, this wasn't what I wanted. They both go back to their homes and stuff, and they're talking to like their respective friends. Their respective friends are both cussing at the other one, saying, that's not something you can really abide by, Lee. Like, if she's not understanding why you're feeling that way, like, is it going to go any further? Bearing in mind, I don't think the friend liked her anyway, but still. And then in Leah's homestay, I think it's her cousin, and she's saying, I just don't understand. Like, I think it's a double standard, and it's really unfair. And I think, from what I've seen of Leah, even though I thought what she was like with Leisha was inappropriate for me, I think I've seen enough from Leah to see that, like, on the balance of everything, like, I think she's a decent person. I think they both are. They're both talking about how their morals align and they're family orientated, and there's lots of things that align for them. But to not be intimate, to not have had a physical consummation of any nature of any kind at this point, nah, man, it was never gonna, like, come on. At this point, we're still talking about theoretical relationships. Like, nah, I ain't got time for that. It's been however many weeks. We keep butting heads. We didn't even leave with a hug. So when they meet up, they both look stunning. Like, I really liked. I've liked a lot of the looks that these two have had. Not all of them, but I have liked a lot of them. And yeah, they meet up in this garden maze thing, and Lee goes first. And she talks about all the things that she does genuinely love about Leah. Like, she actually uses the word love. I was like, maybe she would, but I was like, in the back of my mind, like, there's no way. And then she goes, however, and then it all turns Pete tongue, and then she ends up saying, look, I'm not looking to continue this marriage. And I think at some point Leah did say that she disagreed with some of the framing that Leah had put. But it doesn't matter anyway, because Leah did her vows, and again she had a lot of things to say, a lot of alignment, lots of fun they've had, the kind of person that she is, and the care they've got for one another. But she's like, I can't be with someone that doesn't trust me, and I need someone to trust me, like, without question, almost, because I'm not giving you any reason to doubt me. I need someone that's going to meet me, not manage me. And And I think personally Leah smashed it with her vows, because I think she has been a very given person, a very patient person. And actually she was kind of waiting around for any morsel of anything. And I think she just said, enough's enough, man. Like I'm fed up of justifying myself to someone who is probably not even going to go anywhere anyway. So what is the point? So yeah, they went their separate ways. Then it goes to Abigail and John. And this is what I mean, like, Abigail's crying at home, because, well, when they leave the apartment and stuff, they're really sad, they're hugging, they're kissing, and she's just like, our bubble, I'm so protective of our bubble, and it's just really going to be a shame, I'm not going to get your eggs in the morning, and yada, 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 yada. So they go to their respective homes, and he doesn't sound like he's got any doubts though when he's talking to his mum and sisters and stuff. Abigail kind of the same. There's no doubts there. They're just sad that they're not with each other. So when he's doing his VT and his voice over being like, but in long gonna be enough. It's just like, which producer spent the time to waste their time telling you to say that? Because there isn't anybody watching this show right now that thinks that you are not going to leave hand in hand together. And that's exactly what they did. The vows are beautiful, as we knew they would be. And I'm just glad that there is a couple like that. I feel that this was really designed for, that two people who are kind of one and the same lovely spirit, the same intention, the same openness, like they've met each other and fallen in love, and it looks like they will be forever. So as I said, the reunions come in and someone comes in on their own. So I'm just hoping that it's not Abigail, because what do you mean? They're like Care Bears. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, and not in like a, rude Sarah way. I mean, like in a genuine, just happy, loved up, fuzzy Care Bears. I think I actually used the term Tamagotchis earlier. They're like joint Tamagotchis on the same keyring. Like they're just, yeah. So they're all kinds of happy. What did shock me though, Reese and Leisha, because I mean, like I said, none of us really know what it's like to be in their relationship, because it's just them. It's just them, the two of them in it. So it seems to be that. Well, long story short, Leisha is obviously saying how much she wants to be with him, and that he's her best friend, and and I do feel for her. Again, she looks stunning. I thought his suit was a bit dry though. I like John's like 3-piece of the waistcoat and stuff, but I thought Reese's suit was a bit like, I'm going to a meeting on a Wednesday in Coventry. Do you know what I mean? Or just I didn't get that kind of, this is like renewal vows, like just a bit drab. But he looks good in himself. So so she goes first and she delivers her vows and stuff, very much heartfelt. But prior to this, obviously Reese is with his mum and his sister, and he's talking about some of the things that Leisha's been kind of pressing him on and stuff. And again, it's sounding all smothered to me. I'm like, I don't think, given the evidence that we've seen, which is only a smidgen of what's actually gone on, I guess, but I don't think I would have said yes, personally. So there's obviously a lot more that's happened that we don't see for him to kind of go, yeah, actually, I can invest in this and we can move forward together, the distance, the crazy, all of that. Because so they've left the apartment, but she's not met him yet for final vows. And she's saying that, I've told him I loved him, and he won't say it back. And it's like, the way she said it made me feel like, are you expecting him to say it back? Are you saying it more because you want him to say it back? Obviously, anybody wants someone to say it back, but you went into that being prepared that he might not. So I was just like, I can't deal with that kind of pressure. I don't know how he's doing it. So, the fact that he turned his speech, because he was really laying out all the things, the tantrums, the going off on one, the kind of needing that physical reassurance, the all those different things. But he still ended up saying yes. That genuinely did shock me. Like I wasn't expecting that. Even though they did it over a cliffhanger as well, which is really annoying. But it was nice to see that it was, it's not unrequited. He didn't say I love you though. I did notice that. But again, there's no pressure on it. So let's see what happens. Let's see if she might be the one at the reunion coming in on her own. Then you've got Kia and David. So this is episode 34. And there's lots of to and fro with these two about whether or not David's going to be enough for Kia. And I guess, again, like I said in my last reaction, because he's been quite bougie with the cat cafe, like running back to his, like, floor to ceiling glass tiled apartment near the Thames and his 6-figure salary. Like, I was just like, yeah, maybe David isn't going to be enough for him. But he said everything that would make me go that, yeah, he would be. But again, the kind of drama that ensues. And I think what was interesting as well from the edit, when David was doing his final vows, Kia didn't really overtly react to that much. I don't think anyway. So I was kind of like, oh, he's going to break his heart in it. He's going to break the man's heart. But he didn't. Like another one that was like, you are literally everything. You are everything wherever I go. It was a really nice confirming moment to see that, yeah, they were like, you know, I've never loved anyone like I've loved you. Like I never have. It was a heartfelt one to see them both so gleefully happy. And I really hope it works out. Like I said, it's within the gay world as I know it anyway. Like there's a lot of people in long-term relationships, but those long-term relationships are absolutely riddled from the, you know, there's some of the conversations that I've seen and unfortunately been privy to, where, you know, there's a lot of people out there looking to, you know, bring in thirds and fourths and all sorts. So if you can find a situation where it's just you two and you're in love, like, yeah, man, hang on to that. Really, really hang on to that. So they said yes. And then the last ones were Rebecca and Bailey. So again, the whole thing about Bluebell versus Liverpool versus over chip shop, no chip shop, mum's involved. And again, from weeks and weeks and weeks ago, I saw Rebecca's TikTok and it was one on her own. So I just kind of assumed that maybe they're not going to be together by the end, and that this issue is going to be so big that they just can't find a way to fix it. But no, fix it they found. So Bailey went first, and he's the vows are brilliant, man. Really heartfelt, really well thought out, and kind of said everything you'd want to hear if you were Rebecca, I think. So that was amazing. He wanted to stay and yeah, stay for final vows, and then her go to go, and she's kind of saying the same kind of things, that she, you know, never met anyone like him and can't live without him and stuff. So kind of was a little cliffhanger, but then was just like, you know, I can't imagine life without you. So they've continued as well. You've got your Abigail and John, you've got your Reese and Leisha, and you've got your Kia. You've got your Kia and David, and you've got Rebecca and Bailey. So that's 4 out of the last 5. That is some good going. That is some good going. I didn't think we'd get that many. What that now means though is the reunion is going to be particularly juicy, because I think in that first clip it said we'll look at some of the couples that have flourished, and it looked at John and Abigail. So I'm like, okay, those two I'm guessing have continued to go strength to strength. But I am dubious about Kieran David. I'm dubious about about Reese and Leisha, and I'm also dubious about Rebecca and Bailey, because again, you can't just put the pin in and just be like, oh, okay, we'll just deal with that later. At some point in the very, very near future, it's going to become an untackable thing. So yeah, I don't want to wish no badness on them though. So hopefully they have made it and they continue to be together. But I guess we'll find out in the reunion. And the reunion looks hella juicy. You know, you've got Anita that's come back, and Paul, I think his name was, and I don't know what their interaction is there, but she gets upset. You've got Dean that comes in with some neck tattoos. I'm guessing it's a sleeve. I can't imagine in the time frame that we've been in the show that he's now decided I'm going to get some tats. And if he has decided to do that, and there's any mention of Sarah, like, my respect for him has sunk a new low, because that cannot be possible. Like, and it must just be a gimmick of the show to be like, oh, because she wanted tats and stuff. That's what I'm thinking it's got to be. And it's like, you know, I'm trying to be like ironic or whatever, as opposed to like there is no irony there. That you are literally that sad that you've got some. It can't be that. It can't be. It can't be. And then there's a whole thing with Maeve and Julia-Ruth. I'm sure the weaves got even longer than the last time that we saw Julia-Ruth. But Maeve is on a warpath, it looks like, and she looks like she's really ready to just. And I think Julia-Ruth is, you know, gesticulating and stuff, and Maeve's like, "Don't you?" Can't do the accent. Like, basically, don't you put them hands up about me, mate, because I'll. So it looks like it is going to kick off. So yeah, man, happy to see the ones that have made it. But yet keen to see what the longevity of that's really going to be. That'll be the real test. But for now, thank you so much for watching with me if you did. What were your thoughts about the final vows? Were you surprised? Are you looking forward to the reunion? What's your take on what the reunion is going to bring? Yeah, for now, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If you did enjoy this reaction, then please do drop me a like and subscribe. That'd be amazing. Thank you very much. And if you do want access to my reactions before they come to YouTube, then please do head over to my Patreon, which is a great way to help support the channel, and it's a great way to connect with me more as well. But yeah, for now, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.